everyone, and welcome to a video which I know I haven't done in a very long time, but that's because I'm a useless human being. I have nothing more I can say about that. Today I am dressed in a very fluffy jumper because it's March and it's currently, bear with, 4 degrees outside and going down to -1 tonight. That's just great. I wanted to do a video today on alternatives to university. This is in no way an anti-university video. I haven't been, so I can't say anything bad about university. I'm just purely going to be talking about, from my point of view, what I did and why I didn't go to university. So let me start off by telling you my story and what I did. So at my school specifically, they really pushed university. That was kind of the only option that I believe they told us about, because I sure as hell didn't hear nothing else. But you know, I also didn't listen very much, so maybe I just didn't hear it. But we had a whole day set aside to write our personal statements, which, for those of you who don't know, is basically your application to university. You have to join a website called UCAS, you write a personal statement, which is like an essay about how brilliant you are, and they read it and go, cool, or no thanks. We had a whole day to do that, and I said to the teacher, I don't want to apply to university, so what shall I do in this lesson? And they said, well, either you can sit and have a free, or you can write a personal statement. And I was like, I don't really want to sit and do nothing for a day, so I may as well write one. Somehow then I ended up also then joining up to UCAS, and then I ended up applying for university. Still not entirely sure how that happened. I applied for 2, and I got into both, and I ended up accepting one of them. I didn't go, obviously. I actually had to think about it then. I did not go. But one of the main reasons why I'm glad I didn't go is because the reasons why I chose those 2 universities, I chose Falmouth and I chose Middlesex. I chose Falmouth because it was by the sea in Cornwall, and I chose Middlesex because the building was pretty. I don't even remember reading the course prospectus, but those people are not reasons to choose a university. If you are choosing university based on those reasons, you're not meant to go. But I ended up accepting my offer to Falmouth. I got quite far down the line with it. They ended up sending me all of the applications for student accommodation, and by which point I then just stopped replying to them. And I never heard from them, but I do get their Falmouth alumni newsletter. So they clearly think that I went there and you know, did a drama degree, which I didn't. So basically, once I'd applied for university, accepted my place, and then not gone, I then left school and went, woohoo, freedom, gap year! I then had, what, like 10 gap years? No, I exaggerate. I had 3 gap years, at which point you stop calling them gap years and you start calling them life. The first gap year, I started working in my pub in my village, and then that summer I quit that job because I didn't like it anymore, and then my boyfriend at the time dumped me, and I thought I was going to die because I just didn't know what to do with myself. And so my mother, to get me out of my deathbed, said, look, I found a job, why don't you apply for it? And it was an estate agency job, but it was through the college. So it was working in an estate agent's, but it was doing a college course as well. And it's called an apprenticeship. So you work, you get paid for working, but you're also doing a qualification at the same time. And these qualifications are called NVQs, so you get different levels of NVQs. I did an NVQ level 2 in business and administration, which is actually really hard to say. This seemed like the perfect way because I was getting paid to learn things about estate agency, do all the administration, which I'm good at anyway. I was always good at typing and stuff like that. And then also 1 day a week I would go to college. You just have a short exam at the end. You also then have the person who runs the course coming into where you're working to kind of check up on what you're doing, and you do kind of coursework stuff with them. So it's not just an exam at the end, you're always working towards the qualification. And my boss at the estate agency had to talk to her about how I was doing, but it was really simple, and I'm not clever at all, and I'm not academic, and so if I can do it, anyone can blooming do it. And apprenticeships run for so many different types of jobs. It's another way of getting into a career without having to do a degree, and actually a career, not just a job. That's not what all jobs need. They don't all need a degree in front of them. If you want to be a doctor, yeah, you probably have to go to university, because I don't think you can blag your way through that, so probably got to go. But a lot of other jobs and as in careers you don't need to have a degree for. My friend Holly is pretty much my only friend that I can think of off the top of my head that also didn't go to university. I'm sorry, I know that there are more of you that also didn't, but she's the one in my head. And so what she did instead, she did a 2-year diploma in floristry, which then means that she can go anywhere in the world and arrange people's flowers. I'm sorry, I know that floristry is more than that, Holly, but that is the thing that's in my brain right now. She does a million more things with flowers than that. It's not just arranging flowers. It's quite difficult and very technical and, you know, flowery. But she can use that skill anywhere, and it's a career. It is not just, oh, I kind of do this every now and then. That is what she wants to do, and she didn't have to go to university and do a degree in flowers to do it. I do also then have lots of other people I know who went to university, and Sarah is one of them. So Sarah went to one of the top universities in the world because she's a bloomin' genius, and she did not only a normal BA there, she also then did an MA there, so she's got 2 degrees. And so I asked her what her pro points were for going to university. And Sarah is a very similar person to me. We're both quite homely, we love our mums, and we're like, I don't want to leave them, I want to be with you all the time. So we were both quite scared about staying away and going away and things. And so for Sarah, university was like a massive deal because suddenly she was living over 4 hours away from her mum. And so she said to me that it is absolutely brilliant at teaching you to go away from home and be independent and learn to live by yourself or live with friends, but basically to not live with your parents. It gives you that experience. And the other point that Sarah said is that it's a brilliant way of making friends and finding people who are interested in what you're interested in, whether that's on your course or through things like footlights. I think that that is one of the points to mention. If you're not going to go to university and you're going to do an alternative route, then if you're lucky enough to have a whole load of school friends that have stuck around, I didn't, mine all went to university, so it was kind of like me on my own, hence why I got a job. I met people through my work, but then I also joined a drama group because I thought if I don't meet more people, I'm going to end up going crazy and ringing Sarah all the time. Whereas I see all of my friends that went to university and I'm so jealous because they've all got these incredible friendships with people. That side I was always really jealous of. But I joined this drama group and then another one and another one, and without it I then wouldn't have the social group I have now. If you're doing something else that is an alternative route to university, then just make sure that you still keep up something to give you that fun social life as well. My point is, don't fret. If you don't want to go to university, don't force yourself to go. It's so expensive. Oh! The other thing, apprenticeships are free. You get paid to do them. You get paid to do apprenticeships. That's blooming great because I don't have any student debt. So universities are ridiculously expensive nowadays, and it's a shame because obviously so many people need to go for what they want to do. But if there is part of your head that's going, I'm not sure I want to go, look at the alternative routes. Think about what you want to do. Find out if there's another way of doing it. So there are so many other routes. I'm talking about apprenticeships because that's what I did, but just have a think about it, because if you don't want to go, it's not the end of the world. And don't let people around you force you into it. Do not let your school force you into it. And just don't be a sheep and follow your friends and think they're all applying, I should apply. Because that's what I did. And then I accepted Falmouth and then I didn't go because I felt the pressure. Because I'm weak. Anyway, I'm going to finish here because as my friend Scott texted me today, what are you doing? And I said, I'm making a video. And he said, oh, what about? And I said, university. And he said, oh, right, what's it about? And I said, I don't know yet. So he said, that's just 5 minutes of you rambling. And I said, probably more about 18 that I'll then crop to being 9. So well done, Scott, you were right, I rambled, but that's life. I'm currently looking at the sky, there's not something up there, I'm just looking at the weather and despairing in my heart. I should also point out that I'm on the floor because of the fact that Daphne weed on the bed. So she managed to weed through 4 pillows, 1 duvet, a sheet and a mattress. For those of you that don't know, Daphne is a cat, not a human being. So I'm a bit cross with her at the moment, but you know, we're getting over it, we're working through it, it's going to be fine. Have a lovely day, have a lovely week, keep warm, subscribe to me if you're not already subscribed, because I do occasionally do videos and I'm going to try and do them more, I promise, honestly, seriously. Bye!